hair.
Hey, it's any better.
Yes.
You know, exiting and rejoining Discord doesn't actually change your microphone settings.
Actually,
Astra, you
something.
totally blood.
Is it better or not?
If you're saying words that we're supposed to be able to understand, we can't tell.
Not tell us.
You ate hell? What?
I eat hell often.
Well, hell is part of a full and nutritious breakfast.
Exactly.
Delicious and nutritious.
Yeah, except no substitute.
Like, you should take PC building advice from Astra.
No, he hasn't.
That's the best part about
I
Minecraft
have a
is
feeling that
you can blame someone else.
shit.
Agreed. Be like, oh, this manufacturer has fucked up, and not, oh, I have fucked up with the build or something.
What?
Oh no, I have plugged the RAM in the PCI slot.
But that doesn't it make the RAM faster if you put it in there? I mean,
Okay, one thing you have to look out for on modern motherboards is the RAM likes to go in special places. So you need to read the manual and find out what the places are it expects the RAM to be in. Because if you put it in the wrong places, it just won't turn on.
Well, usually it's color-coded, unless you have one of those high-end gaming motherboards that have all of those slots the same color.
Oh, mine has 2 different colors, but there's 8
Yes.
slots, so it's an alternation. Also, I looked at the manual and it expects the RAM to go in a different configuration depending on whether it's 2, 4, 8, or...
Well, I think the easiest is 4, isn't it?
Also,
no.
It's the new current year.
It's no longer the current year.
It is the new current year. Just
Current
like
year
the
plus
new,
1.
just like the new Nintendo 3DS. It's the new year 2016, which we conveniently have called 2017, or the new current year. It's got like a little new on it. It's like new with the little lines emitting out of it. New.
Why can we just call it 2016 version 2 and make it better than the first one?
And this is the first Radio Rothingham in this brand spanking new year. That's already fucking fantastic.
Amazing.
It is a great year already.
It is already fucking Fanta, indeed. Use it, Fanta.
It's great because of several reasons. Like, you know, in America now, you can't walk the streets at night if you're a Trump supporter. You'll get murdered.
But
that might be a slight exaggeration, but
if you're not a Trump supporter, you'll also die because
No, it's the opposite. If you walk at night and you are not a Trump supporter, you are going to be born.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
Imagine just walking down the street and then you're born.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sounds awful. I mean, I'm already born and don't need to be born again.
Exactly.
Current year is pretty solid. And don't go to Florida.
Why not? I've been to Florida before. It was, to be honest, it was completely mediocre.
Because bullets, apparently.
Yeah.
Wait, bullets exist in Florida?
It's the wildlife.
So what actually happened in Florida? Because I haven't really taken note of it. Because for one thing, it's yet again a shooting, and it gets kind of boring. You know, it's like, oh god, there's another one. I'm not even going to bother reading up on the details. So go ahead and fill me in on this.
A man wearing a Star Wars t-shirt got shot by police in Florida International Airport. Shortly after, lots of people in Florida International Airport's baggage claim got shot at, and many of them hit by bullets.
It was probably episode 7 short. I understand it.
They haven't really released more than that.
Yes, but it's already worse than the prequels.
It's true.
Everything's worse than the prequels. I mean, this was pretty bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as bad as the prequels. I mean, come on.
I said the opposite, Artrix.
I mean,
But yes, unfortunately, we don't really know what's happened yet, except for the fact that some crazy person decided, you know what, I'm going to go on vacation today, and I'm going to hunt the deadliest game of all.
Pigs?
Old people at baggage claim.
Well, those are pretty wild. I mean, in fact, it's Florida. It's like 90% of the population.
Just horrible, horrible people. I wonder if that will ever change.
probably not.
People never change.
In more positive news, the Nintendo Switch is still going to be terrible.
And this is based on what kind of information?
Well,
Internet.
just everything they've told us so far. Basically, it's a handheld machine with a 4-hour battery life. It's 40% less powerful when you plug it out. And it's not very good in the first place. So
That already sounds worse than the 10-year-old thing machine I showed you.
it most likely is, yes.
Also, I'm drawing Judy Jetson because this is the faraway future of, the year 2002, right? That's the year of the Jetsons.
It is in the far, far future of 2002.
Yes.
After
Yes.
all, the world did end in 1996.
True.
It did.
Also the far, far future.
What movie was that again? The year 1996 does ring a bell, but
There was a couple, but I remember on Cartoon Network they used to replay episodes of some ancient cartoon with a barbarian and a witch and some other bizarre alien things.
Ah, yes.
The world got destroyed because someone blew up half the moon.
sounds
It
like a
makes
very
perfect sense.
intelligent plot.
Wow, do you know what would happen if you blew up half the moon?
You'd blow up half the moon.
You will get many smaller moons. Also, lots of dead people because rocks.
Also,
Falling down.
it would be pretty moonish if you did that. I mean, you'd have some pretty nasty prejudices against moons if you go ahead and destroy moons.
Don't call them moons. Then they identify as natural satellites.
Instead of trying to destroy the moon, you just should try to etch your name into the moon.
Yeah, what I've heard people say the most useful thing for the moon would be if we set it up as a giant reflector and used it as a solar panel at nighttime.
Well, it's already reflecting, so that's step one done.
I can't see any problem with someone building a moon-sized solar reflector that focused all the sun's light on the surface of the Earth.
Nope,
It's,
no problem at all.
You just need to focus it on the place that you want not to be a place anymore. That's easy. People can do that.
So, does anyone have any fantastically happy news to report on lately?
Yes.
How about our Christmases and our
I
New
was thinking
Year's?
about the concept of building a moon-sized reflector. I mean, that could be considered a practice for a Dyson sphere.
Yes, it would be incredibly practical, I'm sure.
Well, you can just start somewhere. Before you make a ball of satellites around the sun.
Well, speaking of the sun, I did have my family over for Christmas. It was horrible as normal, and then I got sick. So my Christmas was fantastic.
Mine too. I actually got a present this year.
Oh my god, you got a present.
Yes, I got socks. The problem is, it wasn't the socks I wanted.
I did not get any socks, even though I asked for them.
I also got a tin can of ham.
You mean like the spam, the can of spam?
No. There was ham written on it. Prague ham, made of real Prague.
So they made the ham of real Prague. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. It looked very sad, and it was before I ate it. And it looked
So-
even sadder.
So they went to Prague and they just carved out some bits of the streets and the buildings and the people
And the tourists.
the tourists, and they packaged that shit up and then sold it to you as being ham from.
But they didn't sell
Prague,
me
yeah.
anything. I got it from Grandma. You know grandmas. She actually thinks that's a legit gift for Christmas.
But
But-
was it
but-
delicious?
No, it was a ham in a tin can.
Oh,
You know she's from a different time.
Yes, because what if, World War IV happened tomorrow and you don't have any food? Then you'll be so thankful that she was kind enough to give you a can of spam. I mean ham.
Well, leaving out the fact that you totally skipped World War III, which is happening tomorrow.
But that's why I'm saying that.
Wait,
I mean,
wait.
obviously World War III is happening tomorrow, but I'm already one step ahead.
Wait, what? I didn't know Trump is entering his office tomorrow.
No, don't be ridiculous.
No,
Trump
that-
wouldn't
that's-
start a world war.
That's Obama. He's
He
gonna
wouldn't,
do it.
but the people who don't like him would start the Third World War.
No, it's Brexit. Because the EU and Britain are refusing to leave the EU, they're going to have to blow up half of England. And last time someone tried to blow up half of England, we all saw what happened.
The channel was made.
No, Germany invented the V3 rocket.
Ah,
I mean, this is what you do when you have to blow up England. You invent new rockets.
What do you have to say about this Astra? La
that's
Astra.
Artrix, you can't even speak French.
Sorry,
You died?
I died.
Oh no.
You sound pretty good.
Yeah.
Your voice is coming through clearly and with all the digits.
I don't know what the fuck's going on with my fucking microphone.
Yes.
I was able to understand all of those words.
Yeah.
Exactly one.
Hmm.
Well, I do hear all the grunts and
Actually,
whatnot.
I did do one interesting thing this Christmas. I made an entire Christmas cake from the beginning till the end.
And
Oh my God, that
did you
sounds
manage
great.
to kill anyone?
No,
Oh,
but I would.
How many tutorials you do need to watch for this?
I read exactly 1.5 recipe books.
Did you read the entirety of those recipe books or just the
No,
relevant bits?
Just the page that said Christmas cake.
Ah.
I looked at the 2 recipes and they're like almost the same, except one of them said dump in 17 billion kilos of nutmeg.
Nutmeg. And then you did the secret part of cooking. You follow the instructions.
Yes, that is the trick to actually making your thing happen correctly, is to pay attention to the instructions.
I wouldn't be that sure about it.
Back, do you refuse to follow instructions and then find things don't work properly and then you blame the instructions?
No.
No, kind of sounds like that's what you do.
Are you sure?
Yeah. At least I follow the rules in the supermarket.
What rules?
The rows.
There are no rules in a
The
supermarket.
system of
It's
the
the survival of the
supermarket.
fittest.
The way how it's laid out.
The way supermarket is laid out is to increase
sales.
exponentially the amount of impulse buying people do by forcing them down narrow corridors to make them see as many things as they don't actually want.
And confusing them highly. The ironic part is, in the local Kaufland, I can never locate the aisle with chocolate. Never!
That's just
I
terrible.
had trouble finding salt today in the local Lidl.
Back, just look at the internet.
It is little. I mean, they've got salt everywhere. They even
See,
got
the
salt
problem
on the
with
drive.
Lidl's is they're basically, laid out like a warehouse where they just dump everything.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah, kinda.
Artrix, you are right. Lidl has salt everywhere, especially the Czech one. Because they made a pamphlet. They make pamphlets with their sale stuff of things that nobody wants. And they had clothing in it. And their
Yes,
model
they-
was black. And then people were very outraged that the model is black. Because Czech people usually are not black. And then there were people who were enraged at these people. And the official spokesperson's reply was basically, it's 21st century. It's the current century, guys.
It's a current
But-
century, you guys.
Did the population of Czechland suddenly change to 90% black in the 21st century?
Probably. I mean, we are multiculti now.
It's all about representation.
Yes.
Okay, but
no.
what would be reflective representation of the black population of Czechland?
6.
Yes. Well, there's a black guy in the news.
Mhm.
Then they're already overrepresented.
Well, I think the real problem was that the black guy wasn't on sale, honestly.
I know, right? No matter how much you try to find human meat for sale, it's like it's taboo or something. Nowhere seems to want to sell human meat.
Not even Lidl, and they put shoes next to sausages.
And chainsaws.
It's almost like eating human flesh is the ultimate sin.
Of the ultimate pleasure. You wouldn't know. Because it's banned.
I thought Marmite was the ultimate sin.
Isn't one of the reasons why pork is outlawed in the Islams is because supposedly pork tastes an awful lot like human, but then it stands to reason. How would they know?
It's also
Yeah.
because
Cannibalism.
pigs, like, lying in dust and mud, and then they would have to wash them before eating. But they have no water because they're in the middle of the desert.
So what do they eat? Like cow?
The sand, I guess.
Well, there are a lot of delicacies come from desert. There's fine sand meat.
There's the
there's-
bugs and the bugs.
There's
and
also
the bugs.
more. There's also more coarse. There's
Oh,
a
and the
coarser
lizards.
sand. The lizards, and the scorpion. I heard scorpion is really tasty, especially when you try to eat it and it still has like this reflex, and then just stings you.
Yes, I would recommend you removing the scorpion stinger before attempting to consume.
No.
Also,
that's
venom
a-
probably doesn't taste that good.
I don't know. I suppose it could be nice, maybe. All right, so that concludes this drawing. Now I can start coloring it. Anyway, as to what I did for the Christmases and the New Year's. So for Christmas I went to my parents, which was very exciting. Not really, but basically get to chill and just lounge around for a few days, unwind. And for New Year's, I went to this random ass village in the middle of the province of New Zealand, otherwise known as Xaverius, to watch some guys fire an insane amount of fireworks, while also being incredibly sick because I too had a terrible cold that was bordering on just having a flu.
I had the flu.
Two.
It was probably a flu.
Yeah.
There was no longer a simple cold because I was having headaches. Everything hurt think I had muscle ache. It was pretty shitty.
Talking about
But I
food,
still managed to enjoy a good show. So I had
Good
that
show.
going for me.
Apparently we bird flu now again.
Oh no.
Yeah,
You've been eating birds again.
yeah. Stop doing that. Birds are bad
Yeah,
for you. Okay?
yeah.
Some
The other
people
meat-
committed the ultimate sin of eating a bird. I mean, there's a reason why their bones are hollow. Well, the person died somewhere in Japan or China or some of those shit places. And so we are
Died of it?
massacring our chicken.
So
Oh,
in other
well.
words, they were in Czech Republic, but they were in China at the time they died from the bird flus.
Yep,
No.
apparently France is ordering them as well. Murdering all their
No,
ducks.
Artrix. They were just people,
Hmm?
like a single people,
A single people, yes.
who got the case of the avian flu. And then one of those single people around the world died, and now everybody is killing their avians.
Ah. Okay.
It's almost as if there was overproduction of avian meat or something. Maybe the prices were too low.
Gasp.
Oh, that could happen.
Oh, so Backsmith turning this into conspiracy.
No, I don't
My
believe you
God.
guys.
The chickens aren't actually sick. They're trying to keep the price of chicken down or up or medium.
Medium.
The price of chicken is too damn low, even though I can't really tell walking through the supermarket right now. Chicken is way too fucking expensive. But then again, I want
Is
my
this even a real chicken?
yes.
Was I lied to?
For all I know, it was just they basically took the surplus of Nintendo Wii U's and they just chopped them up and ground them up and served them as chicken. Which stands the reason why the thing was so why it was so black, because or no
It was the guy from Lidl.
Oh, that's a great idea. If we accidentally murder all our chickens, we can just eat the refugees.
oh my
Ah.
god.
That's an idea.
It's like they delivered themselves right to our kitchens.
Top cake.
Oh you.
All we have to do is, get rid of this whole silly taboo about eating human flesh. And then we have to get over the fact that the humans we're eating are really nasty.
And you also have to get over the fact that it involves word of people, and you also have to get over the fact that
Artrix are not people, they're
eating-
livestock.
Don't call it murder. They are just, finding a different way to contribute to the society.
Look, according to our religion, if they die for the cause, they get 72 virgins anyway. And the cause is obviously feeding me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds like impeccable logic.
Sounds legit.
It's just as legit as any other religious belief.
So
I can hardly disagree.
if we were to go by wormism, game worms. Where do we start? If you throw around a banana, it's an act of it's an OD act, and you should be respected just for doing that. That's how it works, right?
Are you trying to make up rules for my religion?
No, I just made up a new religion on the spot. It's wormism. It's when you abide by the laws of the game worms.
Oh.
Yes. So, and you're not allowed to do anything unless the other person has done the thing in front of you. So you have to wait turns. So if you're about to worship the worm god, you have to do it after the person in front of you does their thing.
Just the thing. What kind of thing?
It's wormism. So we're talking about blowing each other up. you're walking around the street and you come across some other dude, and then you have to stand still and be all like, uh-oh. Then the guy just throws a banana at you, and instead of running away, because that's the logical thing to do, instead of you just stand there and wait for the banana to explode, and it explode everything around you, and it launches you far up in the air and just sort of land face down in the concrete, and
It's
then
very interesting.
and then it's your
Yeah.
turn. Then
Into
you're allowed
forest.
to then you're allowed to retaliate.
So I decided to look for some lighter news, from the Irish local news rather than all the horrible things that happen in the world.
You can
And
read Irish.
I come across this Irish news article that says 3 cows euthanized after multi-car crash. That's news.
Well, you're looking on an Irish news site, so yes, that I reckon that would be news that's worthy of Irish news.
I don't see how killing cows is ever news, considering we eat 100 of them every day.
What? These were important cows. They were witnesses.
Oh,
Also, until recently,
Somebody was trying to cover something up, Panboy.
I know. The accident was no accident. It was a political cow assassination.
Yes.
also apparently there's something very special about the way the Irish do beef, because whenever I'm in the supermarket, there's like just the
They have
regular
beef with you.
beef, but there's also Irish beef, but it's just not actually from Ireland. So I'm like, what the fuck is this shit, and why is it so special?
Wait. They're selling Irish beef that's not Irish. That sounds a little like false advertising right there, bro.
I think what they mean by Irish beef is that's like Irish style beef.
It's fit for Irish consumption.
Are you sure? Are you sure it doesn't say exactly that?
Because I'm
Also-
pretty sure that if you look at the packaging, it says it's either from Belgium or the Netherlands.
Made in China.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what's so special about Irish cows.
Assembled in Slovakia.
I can imagine, but
Okay. Imagine the following.
Huh?
You have a big field, okay?
Yes.
You put a cow in.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
But
it's
what does it?
Ireland. The
What
grass
does
is greener.
What does the cow do?
It eats and then it
eats
dies
grass all day, and then you shoot it in the head,
with a hammer.
and then you eat it.
Also an update. Apparently the black guy is shocked at the reactions that he got for being black and illegal.
My God, I have to ask though, is the black model in the Czech newspaper or Czech little catalog a resident of Czechland?
I have no idea. I will have to click on this news and read it.
Also, apparently it's
Otherwise,
true.
They're literally stealing a Czech man's job with positive diversity.
Oh, I think he's not. He did have some interview with some. I can read it because it's not a word. German magazine, and apparently he's afraid.
Are the mobs of Czech people going to hunt him down and force him to wear whiteface?
Oh, he lives in Germany.
But I mean,
it sounds as.
What do you
if the-
mean, Artrix?
It sounds like
Everything.
Lidl uses the same images everywhere. Most likely, like they do a photo shoot in Germany. They're like sending it out to all the countries of the world, and all the Lidls there can use it.
Yes,
That's ridiculous, Czech. Obviously, they should be using nothing but Japanese models.
that's what they do because we live in the current century.
I would
Also,
actually,
now something, another news, something for laughs. Apparently, Putin ordered skewing the results of the elections in the USA.
What?
Say the Secret Service is in USA.
Order Executive Order 666. I don't know, that was something from Star
Just
Wars.
66.
It was 66.
That's all about giving Jedi hand jobs, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Putin doing Putin stuff.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they're still accusing Russia of doing all the hacking and somehow rigging the election.
Yeah. And Trump is like, I want protection against these hackers.
So yeah, obviously they need to install Norton antivirus.
Better
Okay.
yet is the fact
That's-
that they keep saying the Russian hacking of the DNC caused all this trueness to come out, which discredits the DNC. At no point are they arguing against the trueness of the things that came out.
Just that it was brought to light.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that
Yeah,
was a bad thing to happen.
I don't think it matters who hacked them. I just think it's hilarious.
Sure,
But I
the
also don't think
email-
it was Russia.
Sure, the hacks have revealed a bunch of stuff, but
Hexars.
Because, I've seen pictures of Russia. Their closest thing to a computer is a T-70 tank towing a trailer.
But they have millions of those tanks.
Exactly. So if you line up enough of them, you can make a computer out of all the tanks by turning them into a primitive and/or gate.
You just put their army together and make a processor out of tanks.
Exactly. If the turrets spin around and touch two tanks at the same time, that's an and. They've got pretty long barrels on those guns, It's doable. Next, you're going to tell me that the Russians actually have a working space agency that sends more rockets into space than America. Such silliness.
yeah, they really need to get their shit together.
There's probably something in the space they want.
I did hear about Star Wars.
Do
What
they have
about them
Star
Star
Wars in
Wars
space?
is... Oh yeah, there was a new Star Wars movie in it. The Rogue Ones.
Yes,
From-
there
from-
was. I have not seen it.
Me neither. From what I've heard, it's a decent action flick, but overall the response is pretty meh.
Tepid.
Yes.
It's a cool movie, but it doesn't exactly have the Star Wars magic, so to speak.
But it's all about robbing the Star Wars and finding the star plans, the Death Stars, in the stars.
No, that's just silly. Everybody knows that it was Kyle Katarn who got those plans.
But Kyle Katarn is not canon anymore.
Oh no.
He's going to be always canon in my heart.
But is it gonna be canon in your mind?
That too.
Okay. I was just testing. Yeah. Make sure that you're not just doing some blind fanboyism. Because that would be kind of silly. You don't want to be silly now, do you?
Now, do I?
Yeah,
Don't
actually, you
I?
want to be silly at times. You can't be serious all the time. That would just be boring.
It would? Okay.
You know, the most appropriate time is when you're at the job interview, and like, what would you describe as your greatest strength? And then you shoot them in the knee, because outdated dank memes.
Sounds like a relatable response.
Hmm?
Well, that's what the Irish do. You're upset with someone, you push them down, and you shoot their knees off.
This
is standard practice.
Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, sounds perfectly normal human behavior to me.
Good old-fashioned kneecappings. What could go wrong?
Everything.
See, when you're up the north and you see people walking around with a limp using 2 crutches constantly, you know, that guy, he upset the IRA.
Oh wait, that's still a thing, ain't it? Like, there's.
If you upset them again, do they shoot your crutches too?
If you upset them again, one day you're driving home alone on the road, and then a bunch of headlights turn on the road in front of you, and then you see muzzle flashes, and then someone finds you 3 days later in your car in a ditch. That's usually how that goes. Either that or they never find you because they dropped you in a bog.
Or they determined that you're no threat whatsoever. Like, what a.
No, they just shoot you.
They
Drop you in
threw
the
you,
bog in that
they
case.
threw you into the ditch, and they get rid of the ditch too.
The IRA is kind of like the mafia,
They just throw the ditch into another ditch.
except probably a bit more brutal.
But they don't have a reputation to uphold.
Their only reputation is that of being brutal fuckwits who shoot people in the knees.
It's easy to uphold that.
Okay, but they probably also need to keep up their game because they're competing in Europe's international terrorist organization championships. They have to keep up.
That's true.
Because
They have a lot of competition lately.
yeah, but those don't really count. Like Islamic terrorism, they don't really adhere to the rules. There are certain rules, and they just go in and kill people for some weird notion of religion. No, we're talking about people. I mean, organizations that just want their own little country. So you got the
Who
IRA,
doesn't want their
and
little
you
country?
got those fuckers in Spain, and I'm pretty sure there's a group in Friesland that wants its own province at some point. I don't know. They're probably not very good at it because, well, just look at the number of attacks or lack thereof.
The trick to being a good and respected terrorist organization is to only blow up people that actually have issues with your company.
Mm-hmm.
That way it earns you the most respect. Because then people aren't looking at you saying, hey, you just blew up a supermarket with 500 people in it. That's not good for your PR, bro.
Don't worry, it was Lidl.
They just took credit for Lidl. What actually happened is someone just turned on the chainsaws, and they were those really cheap ones because they were from Lidl, and all the gas tanks just exploded, and then there were chainsaws rolling along the ground, and they just covered it all up by burning the whole store to the ground, so no one would ever know the chainsaw massacre.
So Astra, take note, whenever you become the next Thatcher, this is the sort of people you have to keep an eye out for.
I mind.
So it's like, yeah, down with Thatcher, and then like, you just blew up a supermarket. Oh. So how is it gonna stop me as, Prime Minister? Didn't really think this through, did you?
And then you remember you're in Britain, which means there's cameras everywhere, so you just, zoom and enhance and find out exactly where they live.
Yep. Just zoom in enough to be able to read off the driving license through the reflections in the catch lights, the eyes. Yeah.
That works, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's how it works, right?
They said so on Red Dwarf, so it must be true.
Mm-hmm. Zoom in quadrant, sector 1, quadrant 4, enhance. And then there's a bunch of computer bleepy noises, and then you can see all the details.
The computer bleeping noises are essential.
Exactly. How else would you know that the computer is actually doing something? I mean, every
It has
time,
to bleep at every touch.
every time I make a stroke on this Cintiq, it makes a little bleep that I'm filtering out for clarity, but it absolutely must bleep so that I know that the stroke is registered, because there's absolutely no other way you could tell.
Not at all.
Not at all.
It's
I
kind
don't
of
believe
funny,
that.
I was just watching a video the other day where someone complained that, computer interfaces don't go bloop, 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 bloop every time you do something. And then I was playing a video game, and every time I did something, it went bloop, 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 bloop. I was like, huh, that is really dumb and annoying.
Where did this meme come from? Where did this meme come from anyways? Like, something computer must have popularized this notion that computers make bleeping noises all the fucking time.
Probably
Really
Star
old
Trek.
computers that ran directly off a hard disk did make quite a lot of noise every time you did anything.
Yeah, but
But
that
it
was due
wasn't.
to the way the hardware was actually wired up, not a deliberate interface decision, right?
Yeah, no, it was just because the hard drive being accessed made noise.
Yes. And but then again, it doesn't really make a bleeping noise as far as I know. More like a, well, mechanical noise.
But
Then again, in a lot of cartoons, it actually does make a mechanical noise. So those
yes,
actually
those
got it
cartoons
more.
are a better representation
Yes.
of reality.
Than reality itself.
I do love it when they replace the blooping noise in some shows with the noise of a dial-up modem.
Oh yeah, that's fucking great. Yes, I agree.
I mean, that is absolutely the best computer sound effect. Just the screeching noise that we all learn to understand. You just be sitting there listening. It's like, is it connecting? Is it no, that noise was slightly different than normal. Better hang up and try again.
My god, it's a
Well,
different frequency again.
well, if you were smart enough, you'd actually know what the noises mean,
Mm-hmm.
and you could even use it to troubleshoot somewhat.
Yes.
Exactly. You would be listening to the noise. You'd be like, nope, that's not connecting. And you try again.
And when you got in enough trouble, you just took it out and shoot it.
I did at one time get really frustrated with the modem, and I realized looking back at it, it wasn't the modem's fault. It was the system I was trying to dial in on. But yeah, I got so frustrated. I did indeed just hit it with a hammer repeatedly.
I bet that fixed it.
I bet your modem was not upset with you at all.
I had a spare.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you have no internet, you have no internet problems.
Just as I had a spare router laying around, and as turns out, it was just the power brick that gave way. But a friend of mine was like, "Yeah, I worked at your ISP and got this here spare router / modem, so you can have it." And it
And you
helped.
had it.
Then I had it, and then my modem stopped working. I replaced it, and then it worked again. So I don't have to go and call up the fuckers at my ISP like, oh, my internet's not working.
This is a riveting tale of high adventure.
It's the highest of adventures. Anyway, so since 2017 is 6 whole days old, we can discuss the entirety of
It's the Three
2017.
Kings!
The what now?
The Three Kings.
All the trickings, all the happenings.
Yes,
Well,
the Three
speaking
Kings
of
who visited the Jesus when he wasn't dead yet.
the Three Kings.
Yes, the Three Kings.
It's when they
They-
arrived at the mythical Bethlehem in the
And
middle
they-
of winter, 6 days after the census that occurred in March. Wait,
Uh-huh.
I'm very confused. That doesn't make much sense. Why would
Well,
we be
it's religion.
celebrating
No
the
one,
birth-
nothing makes sense.
But why would we be celebrating the birthday of someone who was apparently born during a census that was in Bethlehem in March? But why would we do it in December? Nothing makes sense.
It was because those damn pagans wouldn't stop worshipping their stuff. It was easier to just pick a date than convincing them.
Also because apparently on the 25th, it's the first day when days are actually starting to become longer again.
Yes, that's the pagan stuff.
Yes. So, yeah.
We're filthy pagans. How do you even know that Sun does this?
Taking away all the wonders of, you know,
Of March.
yeah, that. March was supposed to be a special
instead-
month, but now it's just regular as month.
So they had to make do and make March to the month Jesus died instead of being born.
Don't they
My
kind
God.
of celebrate both in that month, or
That must have really sucked for Jesus. It's like, hey guys, my birthday's coming up. They're like, oh, what do you want to do for your birthday? I was like, I know, let's have a crucifixion.
Yes.
it'll be grand?
Well, it's Easter, which is a different week every year. So basically, Jesus dies differently every time.
But in reality, the Easter day is based on an old Jewish holiday called Passover. Where if you don't cover your door in blood, someone will break your door down and steal your children.
Well, probably the god.
Sounds nice.
That's what he does.
And you guys said my eating people was a bad religious idea. Have you looked at religion? Have you looked at this?
He doesn't eat those children. He just kills them.
Oh, okay. That makes it fine.
Yeah, that makes it much better.
So, 2017 started out with
A bang! Literally, actually, several bangs. Lots of
several
people died.
bangs. Yep. But let's start out with the stuff that does not involve killing people, because apparently they learned the lessons from last year, and they actually, you know, put down more security down in downtown Cologne.
They couldn't help and be a racist while they were doing it.
Yeah, so it only took like 1,000 extra policemen to keep that shit in check. And
How many people did they arrest? That's what I want to know.
quite a lot, actually.
Panboy, for some strange reason, they were profiling the brown people.
My God, I can't imagine why you would do
No,
that. That's incredibly racist.
not even brown, actually, North Africans.
Everyone who was of North African descent was suspicious.
I can't imagine why.
And
Yeah.
that caused quite an uproar in the Germanies, because
Why is there such a racism all of a sudden?
the
Well, I would have loved
police
to see it.
Actually, it didn't cause uproar in all of Germany, just in some special left-wing parties. Everyone
Ah.
else was like happy about it.
Just in some sub-Germany.
Yeah, I'm just picturing it now, you know. You're just, you know, partying on New Year's Eve, chilling, drinking, having fun with your buds, and then you just look down the street and you just see this line of policemen walking down the street, and they're just tasing everyone who's brown, pull them off in the paddy wagon, not even saying anything, and you just get along with your drinks because you're not brown and you're perfectly happy.
Yeah,
And
but
then
actually
just-
what happened is that most of those people, I think they checked like 650 people. They were just mostly ID checks. Like mostly for people that were kind of suspicious behaving, like, you know, kind of aggressive or something. So they checked their ID. A few were rejected to where they were told to like sort off. We are not partying here. Go somewhere else. You can still party there, but not here. Then I think around 60 were detained. This means they still got kinda into a cell, but only for the remainder of the night. And I think about 12 were arrested. So it's not even that much.
what probably happened was like if you were walking around in nice suit, not causing any trouble, you'd not get any trouble.
The suit was probably stolen.
The truth of it is they were
I
probably
hype.
walking down the street looking for any gatherings of more than 4 brown people and splitting them up.
The two.
If
But yeah,
you
they did mostly ID checks.
But yes, they did it under the guise of ID checks, but what they were actually doing is just getting in people's faces and saying, hey, show me your ID or I'm going to shoot you with this taser.
That's
It's-
not America.
No, in America they're using 9mm.
Also, they wouldn't check for the ID.
They just used a 9mm, true.
Yeah.
Which is probably a more proactive arrangement.
Just to be safe.
But yeah, it did take only 1,000 police officers to keep this shit from not going out of, spying out of control. And they still managed to find something to, get worked up over. And
It's
it
like,
basically
hey,
highlights of...
rape gangs this year. Let's be upset.
Mhm.
Like, what would you prefer?
No, they were upset not because they were profiling, because they were profiling mostly not African people, and not like profiling everyone.
I
Well,
don't
it's
think I
like-
understand what
Like,
profiling
I mean,
means.
if no one else behaves suspicious, why should they even check them, right?
No,
I mean,
I'm in favor of profiling. Profiling makes perfect sense, and anyone who's against it is an idiot.
The thing is, like, of course, it's you have only limited resources. Like, you have only a finite amount of policemen, so of course they're gonna try to do it as efficient as possible. And why should you bother checking like groups of women, for example, of if they are not behaving any suspicious or anything?
Yeah, but as we've learned recently, small groups of women who appear to be behaving perfectly ordinarily are actually beating up retarded white guys in their shower.
Yeah, but
Also African American.
But they are just kids.
yeah,
Even though they are legally adult.
All right, well, let's jump onto that subject after we've wrapped up this one. But yeah, a lot people got upset that the police was actually doing their work, and
Terrible.
only some people.
the thing is that last year they got their way, like this, no police checks basically, and we all saw what happened, and it didn't work. And now that we actually put down some extra security and whatnot, it's still not good enough, because more racism.
No,
So
and
there's
that
no
is the-
winning.
Yeah, and that's exactly the problem British police complain about. It's like, we'll be called racists if we arrest people. And then I look at the British police and say, then get called racists. Do your fucking job, regardless of how many people are upset with you. You are supposed to stop people from being fucked by brown people.
We just need more racism. I mean, security checks.
The world is turning to shit lately, and it's horrible. But we need to look on the bright side, all the positive news stories that people post all the time, because you do know that violent crime is only like something that happens to less than 1% of people, which means there must be an enormous amount of good things happening, but nobody ever says anything about it.
Because good news is boring.
Then why are cat videos so popular on the internet?
That's not even good news. That's just chaotic. Chaotic news.
Yeah, it's just boring. I mean, after you've seen one cat video, you've seen them all.
Well, you haven't seen the cat videos I've seen.
Oh, are you going out as some sort of cat video connoisseur?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have the best cat memes.
So how
He's an
much are you
expert.
how much are your cat memes worth?
A lot.
6?
More than 6 bitcoins.
Wow. those are some very high value cat videos right there.
I know, right?
It actually is. If it's really 6 bitcoins.
Yes, that's a joke. It's legitimately worth a lot. But I think we all lost a train of thought with the clone thing. Though I have to add that apparently there were still a considerable amount of riots and touchy-feelies in other major German cities.
As you do.
So yeah, we can't exactly say it's been a completely flawless New Year's for Germany. But yeah, at least Cologne was a bit nicer this time around, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
At least women didn't need to tell guys to keep an arm's length.
Yeah, I mean, the people who were complaining about this racial profiling were kind of the same people like this one infamous politician that actually got touched by such a person that was like being, if he gets punished and then he's gonna get sent back to his country and it will be all my
Oh
fault.
God! You mean this one woman that lied about the ethnicity of her attacker? Just
Yes.
so yeah, oh yeah, that woman was fucking retarded. Then again, yeah,
Was. She's not anymore. What did you do to her, Artrix?
another thing that's a
And
problem.
this is like the insane thing. They always complain like men are so sexist. Men want to
No, 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 no,
do
no, 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 no,
bad
no,
things,
no.
but once it actually
White cisgendered man. Come on, it's a current year.
white
Go ahead.
cisgendered straight man,
That's true.
able-bodied.
Able-bodied. Ugh. I want to get rid of them all. All one is a world without white people, which is exactly what these 4 very upstanding citizens were, demonstrating against by taking out their anger at those despicable white men by kidnapping one of them, like one of the highest intelligence and able-bodiedness, and just kidnap him and just sort of keep him in a dungeon room for a couple of hours, and perfectly normal. There's
No.
nothing
Honestly,
wrong about this.
that video did remind me heavily of being at school. It was basically like looking at a mirror into the past.
So they too just cut off a bit of your skull, like, you don't have
Not
skin
not
anymore.
explicitly, but in school I was hit by 20 people with large sticks,
Oh, yeah,
curly
that-
sticks to be particular. So not exactly the same, but not that different. Also, back in those days, not everyone was carrying around a camera phone that they could record and stream it to the fucking internet while they did it. What kind of person thinks, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to beat this cripple half to death in a shower and put it on the internet.
Well, these
Millennials?
obviously did. Well, they were millennials. Fuck, that's for sure.
While recording their own faces and laughing as they do it.
Because they are right. No, guys.
Well,
I don't
are
think they were even horribly drunk. I mean, I've seen some cam videos of teenagers getting far too drunk and shoving wine bottles where wine bottles should not fit. But
The beer bottle rack.
but really, that's just someone getting stupidly drunk and doing something retarded. This was an act of conscious malice that they decided, "Do you know what? I can't see any negative repercussions of putting this on the internet. What could possibly go wrong?"
I don't know. Probably nothing.
everything.
Yes.
It's just it's so the level of stupidity as well as malice. Like, how how do you do this? How are there people on this planet who think this is good? Oh wait, they're black.
Yep, that's
Black lives matter after all.
that's all that there's to it. But yeah, no one has
Still
really
that matters.
confirmed that this is no one of Black Lives Matter or whatnot has come out and said, yeah, this is what we support. They even more or less distance themselves from it. On the other hand, they were more or less just chanting their rhetoric while they were doing all this. So.
No, I don't. Like, Black Lives Matter is not a real organization anyway.
That too.
It's like Anonymous.
It's like Gamergate. They are a hashtag and everyone can post using that hashtag. So yeah,
Yes.
you're also gonna have massive retards using the hashtag for whatever purpose they see
It's
fit.
true. Except
that-
one of those groups is highly racist.
While the other just wants ethics in gaming journalism. I know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Whether this is explicitly endorsed by a particular figurehead who decides that their Black Lives Matter that day, whether it is or not, it's still reflective of the kind of ideals they've been pushing lately.
Hmm.
The anti-white, anti-straight, anti-normal American rhetoric they've been pushing. The only thing that would make it more on the nose as being a Black Lives Matter kind of thing would be if that man happened to be a police officer. that would have just added icing to the cake.
They just want dead cops and they vote them now.
Right now. Another second soon. Another second later.
Not
Anyone?
even-
If I can't understand how that riot took place, and watching those people go down the street chanting "We want dead cops" didn't immediately send in a riot van with a water cannon and put them all to the ground. I don't understand why that didn't happen.
Panboy, see, those people were black. You can't use water cannon on black people. They can't swim.
You're quite right. They should have just sent in an armored personnel carrier, an infantry fighting vehicle, which used actual bullets.
Or just run them over with a tank.
I am not opposed to any of these ideas.
America has too many tanks that do nothing.
They literally have a desert parking lot with over 5,000 M1 Abrams just sitting there, and the government's like, "What are we doing with all these tanks?" And then they're like, "Jobs." It's like, jobs. Well, people build the tanks. We pay them to build the tanks. Okay, but why?
Thanks.
Thanks.
It's
I mean,
fascinating.
That's true. That's a thing that's actively happening today. They are building an army of tanks with no war to fight in. They say, like, all military advisors today come out and say, the day of the ground war is behind us. We will probably never see a massive armored conflict again because of, all our other methods of killing each other.
Hmm.
So
Seems like tanks are not that useful.
they're really not. I mean, they could airdrop them all into Syria and just use them as concussion weapons to actually drop them on the enemy tanks.
You just need to build a heavier tank.
I mean, you drop 100 tons of tank out of the air without a parachute. I mean, that's going to do some damage. And it most likely won't be salvageable.
It's just, and it's basically a giant frag grenade.
Well, yeah, if you fill it with ammo.
All the parts flying off after it flies half a kilometer or something like that.
But anyway, back to horribly racist people who are apparently not racist because they're black and their victim was white. how is it that this wasn't immediately called on by the media as being a horrible racist attack?
Clever kids.
That's the real question that I have looking at this. Anytime a white guy shoots a black guy, it's racist. Anytime, a black girl is attacked in the street by some random fuckhead, it's racially motivated. If you accidentally compliment a black woman's hair, you're racist.
God forbid you touch it.
If you say you're attracted to a black person,
That's racist. But if you're not attracted to a black person, that's also
that's
racist.
but if you tie up a white guy in the shower and beat him for an hour straight and put it on Facebook, that's not racist.
He's white. It's probably his own fault. Come on.
That's not a
He
hate
shouldn't have
crime.
been so white.
Now, to be perfectly fair, the entire justice system right now is working as intended, in the sense that, the people responsible are arrested and charged, and they're also charged for crime.
The irresponsible people are responsible.
Yeah, the justice system is treating this as a hate crime, but that's the thing. The weird thing is that if this had happened to a black person, the media would have jumped on it as a hate crime immediately.
Mm-hmm.
The media waited till the police told them it was a hate crime in this situation.
But of course they are waiting for the police to declare the hate crime, because they don't want to come out themselves, because they know damn well that it goes against the narrative.
Oh no.
Because also, I'm sure you guys have seen MTV's very insightful video just before this current year, where they're like, yeah, the past current year was kind of shitty, so all white men, listen up, because this is what you can do to make 2017 better. And
Apparently, as a white man, I need to be the Supreme Justice of an American court and not put NFL players in prison because they're sexist. Wait, hang on a minute. I don't think that actually applies to me. I think that's a really stupid thing for someone to say all white men need to take responsibility for. Wait, hang on a minute. Hang on. All the things in that video were like that.
basically, they were like, yeah, you guys fucking suck, and basically just do exactly as you say, or else we'll call you bigot.
It's like, hey, white people, take responsibility for the crimes of everyone else and your ancestors, while us black people are going to keep blaming the crimes of black people on the patriarchy and white supremacy. Black people are obviously shooting cops in the street because white people.
Oh, white people invented guns.
And actually, no. Chinese
No,
people.
no. It's white people. Chinese people don't exist. Come on.
Chinese people are a social construct.
Yeah, they are not even a minority. Come on.
Wait, I'm not sure if that's true. Chinese people invented black powder for fireworks.
No, Chinese people don't exist. Come on. There's only two minorities: black people and slightly less black people.
I need to check my history facts, and not from historical revisionists of today.
And yes, from non-current year point of view, they did invent black powder.
Oh God, I'm just realizing something. If it keeps going the way it is, they're going to eventually go out and try to burn every copy of Encyclopedia Britannica. Because it's uneditable. They can't just go onto Wikipedia and edit Encyclopedia Britannica. They're going to have to burn them.
But isn't Encyclopedia Britannica, not Dramatica, because it's something entirely different. But isn't that shit on? Isn't that on the internet anyways at this point? Like isn't some paywall site?
you can't just edit it.
That's true.
But also paper. The paper copies still exist. And while they still exist, They will challenge the narrative. It's what? Oh God, that happened. That was the book Fahrenheit was about. It was like every time they wanted to revise history, they had to go out and burn all the books that existed already. The book was called Fahrenheit 391 or something because it's the kindling point of paper.
451.
451, yeah, the kindling point of paper.
It
But
goes whoosh when there's fire.
If things keep happening, we might start seeing mass book burnings.
We might start seeing firemen.
These books do not, go with our narrative. We must burn the books.
We don't need those books. Come on.
But isn't that already what they're trying to do with banning certain people from going to colleges and whatnot?
Those books are so pre-current year.
Yes, which is why we need to make sure that they don't burn Britannica.
Like this.
Well, in this case, you need to buy a copy.
Like this gay man says some really, 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 really
Mild
mean-
shit.
Milo shit, yes.
I do love how angry people get at Milo Yiannopoulos. It is the greatest thing to happen in 2016, apart from Trump winning.
But he's like, yeah, he's like one big troll. I don't get why people take him so seriously.
Because he's awesome. He just goes out there and he just tells them everything they don't want to hear, and he's loud and in charge and gay as fuck.
Mm-hmm. I think perhaps that's the part that gets them the most. That he's gay as fuck.
Yeah, they
So
can
they
yell at
can't
him
use-
that he's cis.
Well, then again, they have more or less declared gay men to be, no longer oppressed. Like, you guys are no longer oppressed. You're no longer part of our cute little club.
Yeah,
Get out of the progressive stack.
Yes.
gay men are not a useful diversity hire anymore, but lesbians still are.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and apparently, I was not aware of this myself, but apparently, Gamergate is, and certain people and whatnot are upset that Tracer is gay.
Oh no, Tracer's gay.
That sounds gay.
No, I'm never going to buy that awful game. I'm not going to buy.
I was like, I was like, so what? I mean, like 90% of all the fan art of Trace is already lesbian as fuck. So what does this change exactly?
She still has a butt, and as we know, the game is solely about her butt, so nothing changes.
Well, this is true. When you start out the game, you get this tutorial in which you follow Tracer, and her butt is always very prominently in front of your face.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow the tutorial. So yeah, the tutorial's obviously built all around the male gaze.
It's all built around her butt.
And it's not even a very good butt either. I mean, come on. No.
People measure to the depth of that butt cleft.
Hmm. Well, it is a very exact science. It's very true, especially with the people that are able to extract the models and whatnot. We can have some very precise measurements, but
We have the technology to measure this butt properly.
how do you measure butts in butts? So one butt is one butt, but you can also have a mini butt or a mega butt.
Gigabutt.
I need 12 centi butt stat.
All the butts.
I'm gonna lose this trace. I need 20 centi butts. I need them now. Stat. I need to.
Well, that sounds like something Blizzard would say. You know, we are going to lose subscribers. We need some more bots.
Yeah, we need to infuse 6 centibots.
Yes.
So yeah, but yeah, people claiming that the fandom is having a meltdown. Oh no, I don't like they mostly refer to the forums and like, oh no, people are complaining that Teresa's know that their waifu is gay and that we took away their waifu.
Yes, they can now marry her.
The thing is, anyone who knows anything about gamer demographics, who's actually looked at the numbers and said, hey, wait a minute, the number of people who play this game compared to the number of people who post on the forum, compared to the number of people who complain that Tracer's gay, hang on, let me just do quick numbers here. Okay, so let's see. We have 4 million people playing the game. We have 200,000 people posting on the forum. No, wait, no, only about 2,000. No, actually, it's probably even lower than that. And then of those couple of thousand people, 5 of them are angry that Tracer's gay.
This
I
is
honestly don't see the reason why so many people are upset. What's the issue?
Tracer's gay.
Are you homophobic? Yes, they are.
Well, you know, Blizzard introduced Anna, and then they realized that she actually doesn't have a good butt, which meant a dip into subscribers. And then there was Sombra with her extremely forced, unfunny meme.
You know what? Just face it all together. That'll make a lot of people happy. Those feminists who are pissed off about her ass, and it makes the homophobics happy as well. Just face it all together. Not literally, but yeah. All together.
The solution
Yes.
to all these problems, and the 5 words I heard from Astra, is we basically just need to delete Tracer from the game altogether and all the other characters. Just replace them all with cardboard cutouts. I know the perfect model to use, actually. The Centurion mech model from MechWarrior Pirates Moon. It is the perfect ungenderable robot that has no details that could possibly offend anyone. It just looks like a giant walking cardboard box.
Well, my point was that Blizzard's butts got too old, so they had to introduce lesbians.
Oh shit, I just realized that the Centurion has a 6-port missile silo on its belly. People might interpret that as phallic. Shit.
Well, that happens.
But
Or
yeah,
they might interpret it as foreign nipples.
Oh no.
That's even worse. Oh, by the way, if I am to believe the internet, we now have a video card that has as much processing power as a supercomputer in the year 2000.
What?
That's probably true. But graphics cards today are as powerful as supercomputers in the year 2000. We could all start gene sequencing right now and have Jurassic Park up and running by next week.
get on it. 1, 3, go.
I don't have any DNA.
I would need to buy one of those graphic cards.
Back, you should just build all the computer. What you need is twin
Parts.
1080 Titans, and you need one of those motherboards for servers that can take 4 processors and put 4 i7 6 cores in it.
You need at least 8 sticks of 32 gigs RAM.
Well, the server motherboards can have like 20 slots for RAMs.
That's okay-ish.
Oh, and those PCIe whatchamacallits, SD memory cards. You know, those ones have a terabyte of memory on each, but it's hyper fast. They only cost something upwards of $5,000 a piece.
That's affordable.
Mhm.
It's basically like buying a computer in the 70s.
although now that I think about it, a computer like that is basically an entire Cray server farm from the year 2000.
Yeah, but can it run Crisis?
Oh,
Maybe.
mid high details. I mean, with that much RAM, we might be even able to play Minecraft with the draw distance set to maximum. Might.
Maybe. Just maybe. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
it's insane what Minecraft needs. That's
Well, Minecraft
like-
needs at least 6 data centers. At least.
at least, yeah. But still, it's freaking insane. I tried a few mods today, and I had like on the lowest settings, I had like 6 FPS.
It's because the graphics actually have nothing to do with your FPS in Minecraft. It's all back end processing for the logic between the blocks.
Fucking Java.
Also, I'm getting a question from the chat. So if I've ever drawn Shego or Yukio Kionji before, aren't those like
Sure.
two different completely characters? Like one
I
is
have
from Kim Possible, I believe, and the other is from some anime.
Oh, Shigo, yeah. I
Oh
remember
yeah, Shigo. Shago. What?
I thought that that Shigo or Shago or whatever you want to call her,
Like-
Shaggy, female Shaggy.
I don't recall her being a stoner.
She was completely stoner. She was like, I mean, she was around Dr. Draken all the time. That you must be pretty goddamn stoned to be able to pull that off. Right, I gotta
Okay,
make sure that.
Apparently, Yuko Kuni is from a an anime called Ramna and a Half. I've never heard of this.
Me
And
neither.
I watched
A
a few
Rayman and a
animes.
half.
Although she looks exactly the same as the lead female character in every anime from the 80s.
Old anime.
So
She looks just
very,
like
very-
the lead character from oh shit, I forgot the name of it now.
Very, 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 very long.
The Hironi Kenshin? No, not that. The one where the main character is a dog wolf boy
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not
with
helping
silver hair.
nail it down.
God damn it! Why is anime so vague? And also they stopped, making it halfway through the 90s and then reboot and then finished the story in like 2008.
Happens.
Also, what episode are we on, anyways?
That's
The last
17.
episode plus.
Yes, it's the current episode, guys.
It's a
Yeah, it's
current-
episode N+1.
I think it was like 46.
You could always, look at the last episode.
Yeah, I'll just look it up. I think it was
Ah,
46.
That's a year old.
Yeah,
Panboy.
46. I guessed it correctly.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's the entire B movie, but instead it's episode of Radio Rothingham.
This is true.
Oh god. I think no, I'm not gonna name the episode like that, but
Well,
that would be
Artrix.
fucking hilarious.
Artrix.
What?
Artrix. I have but one question.
But one question.
Yes, one question, Artrix.
Go ahead.
Are you a real villain?
Not really.
Shameful.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you need to be a real villain. Come on, Artrix.
No, what you say is, did you ever call a hero?
No. That's not what you say, Artrix. You failed.
I feel it in dank memes.
Yes.
Oh,
Terrible.
but did he no? I think he did ask them if if they are a real
You ever
villain.
called a
And
good guy like a real superhero.
Mhm.
That's what
Has
he
he
said.
ever caught a villain? I mean, hero? Like a good guy?
Artrix, you are terrible at
Hell.
memes.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
How can one
it-
person fail so badly at memes?
Oh, Matt
Memes.
RX knew what anime I was talking about. Inuyasha.
Ah,
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha.
I know that word.
I've heard about this before.
She
Exactly.
may have been created years before Inuyasha, but that doesn't change the fact that every other anime girl looks like that from the 80s,
Very,
maybe
very
even the
long legs.
70s.
Seriously, why did they draw those legs so long?
Because legs.
60% of the animals are legs.
Well,
Oh,
legs
no.
are very sexy.
Curly has to go. Her planet needs her.
Well, look at the time, because I think we're also about to reach the end of today's episode.
Because we are about to reach the end of today.
Interesting factoid before we end.
Yeah.
Did you know that 50% of all combat casualties were caused by about 2% of troopers shooting in World War II?
Yes, I have watched the same video you have.
The other 50% was caused by artillery.
Yeah.
And do you know why those 2% of people murdered the most people? They were the only ones trying to.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
most
very
people
special.
were fucking terrified of shooting one
Like-
another.
Oh, I don't want to aim at this guy. I might kill him. I
Yeah.
don't want to kill him.
Hmm.
I think the most hilarious thing is that those 2% are split evenly in half, and the two different psychological profiles they have couldn't be more far apart. The ones on the left, complete psychopaths, no empathy, no respect for human life. The ones on the right, exactly the opposite, utmost respect for human life, thus they were murdering the people shooting at their friends, like their daddies.
Exactly. That's why you don't shoot at the other guys, because then their friends would shoot at you.
And you wouldn't want that now, do you?
Exactly.
Which is why Americans train their modern armed forces to not think about what they're shooting at and just shoot it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Basically, make them play video games for hours on end.
No. I always think what am I shooting at, because that way I can figure out which weapon I should use for maximum damage.
That's far more thinking than the Marines allow. They just shunt you down the corridor, give you an M16, and they say shoot anything that moves. And then you do. And then at the end of the range, you come out of a trance and say, have I started yet?
And then you have psychological problems for the end of your life.
Which is why, the clip in Men in Black
Uh,
where Will Smith only shoots the alien girl because she has a dictionary is like, wait, no, you should have shot them all, including her. You're really bad at disarming, Will Smith. You hesitated and you thought for a second. That's terrible. You just need to shoot.
Yeah, but except it was about thinking.
Yes, because he wasn't a military guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, wasn't he? Oh no, yeah, he was supposed to be a beat cop, wasn't he, at the start of that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
All the way.
all the way.
Yes.
But I think we should.
Good one.
Well, yeah, it's usually a very good one. I think it's better than when I
I don't think that's
think.
true.
If I didn't think, then the world would already be destroyed. So you can all thank me for
So-
thinking.
You're saying that all those memes with the text, you could have prevented this. Addressed to you. You are the one preventing this.
Yes, it's thanks to me that the world is still here.
Ah, I see.
Yes. And before you get any ideas, no, by just killing me, you're not preventing the end of the world. I'm sorry.
Oh, just give me the nuclear button.
Panboy, I already made a backup of this world. Even if we destroy it, I'll just restore the backup.
Okay.
If it's a complete backup of this world and I still exist in it and still have the nuclear button, then the same events will happen again.
We're saying that I didn't just deleted that from the backup.
He deleted the button.
Then it wouldn't be a true backup, would it?
Well, it's a superior backup.
If you start fucking with it, then it's not true. You're just like living a horrible fantasy where every time a mistake is made, you just revert to backup and you never learn anything. There's never any character development. You're not even living as a true human.
No. Now you're just trying to, change my mind. So I'll leave you in. So I'll just leave you in this backup of mine. But no, I made up my mind. This backup is free of Panboys.
And how many people we have deleted from existence before it's all over?
You'll never know. For all
your ideology, will you just erase from history?
For all you know, you had like a brother that you could really get along with.
And you think my idea of nuking everyone is bad, yet you sit here presiding over the world with the powers of a god, pretending like you're better than me.
Well, I am.
He doesn't eat the people.
You don't even appreciate how terrible you truly are.
Mm-hmm.
That's the force.
I do. I shape the world to my own desire.
So
regardless of. That's why it's so shit, and I enjoy it because I can just destroy it and just start all over again. With new
have the
parameters.
reason anime exists.
Exactly. Anime was a mistake, and that's what I purposely leave in.
It was a purposeful mistake, mate.
You're drawing another terrible self-portrait.
This is not a self-portrait. This is the most random face that's random.
A self-portrait?
With the random facial features and whatnot. And they don't even have a skull. It's just flat. The rest of his face is just a square. with tiny little head. Let's go head right here.
Agree.
Okay.
I think it's game over.
Yes, it is.
He's got a very thick neck. In other words, he's like Thunderfoot.
He's a scientist!
Well, as a scientist, he obviously needs a very thick neck to be able to house all those massive amounts of nerves going from his brain.
Nerves.
His brain is so big that it extends through his spine. That's why he needs such a thick neck.
Or, just to absorb all that radiation from the nuclear reactor.
Or that.
Same thing.
Yeah. I'm just gonna quickly draw Thunderfoot.
Draw him beekeeping. He keeps bees.
Oh, that's another social justice movement lately. People trying to dissuade people from beekeeping.
What?
That's
a thing that exists.
It is, but it's a really small subset of the stupid because
this is like the bee movie leaking into reality. What's going on?
It's an incredible level of stupid. Stop keeping bees, that's animal abuse. It's like, no. Also, do you know where your food comes from? It's like, I don't eat meat. Exactly. Do you know where your food comes from? Well, it's got nothing to do with bees. I think you might want to revise your botany journal there.
Okay.
You might want to observe
okay, that neck wasn't quite thick enough. It needs to be thicker.
Like a giant neck. With a head somewhere above the clouds. and lots of bees.
Well, it's got this one bee here.
None of your business.
And he's got like the typical mad scientist hair.
Well, that's just his hair. Why are you saying he's a mad scientist?
He is a mad scientist. Come on.
He's not mad. He's just somewhat crazy.
Also, well, usually wears a t-shirt, but sells even the t-shirt is like cutting off circulation to his thick neck.
Oh, now I see the scientist. Yeah.
I think you are overtaking it.
Well,
Yeah,
it is a
this-
character. It is a caricature, so obviously I'm overdoing it.
Well, that was a pun.
To be fair, it
Over
looks
thick
more like
ingot.
his neck looks more like his body.
It is his body.
Yeah.
This-
It's actually just a neck with limbs.
It's like that internet meme going around where if like, so you've got the guy with the glasses. And he's really smart, but he's so smart that his brains go all the way down and they form like the chair in which the smart guy is sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense.
My face, I'm so smart that my brain is so big that also is like the chair.
Artrix,
that
I
I'm
think we
sitting.
ran out of news.
Yes. At this point, I'm just shit posting with my drawings.
Isn't shit posting the entire point of this podcast?
Yes, but usually it's in a slightly more structured fashion.
So yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the episode of Radio Rothingham. Like, subscribe, whatever.
Go fuck yourself.
and
You
go
better
fuck
edit
yourself.
all
But
that
then you should go and subscribe.
Go and try fucking yourself.
Subscribe.
Yeah. Like, dislike, maybe also and click this subscribe.
If you already subscribe, unsubscribe and subscribe again.
Nobody subscribes to this. Nobody.
Subscribe.
I think I do.